Stall out them pint bottles out Granny crib. I poured so much I ain't want to live. Told money then, shit we in the wind. I was in the hood when I clipped the bin. Since a young nigga I been ready. Went glass house on every Chevy. In this game I try plenty settings. It's all or nothing how niggas been. Got sucker niggas, keep suckers with them. One of the reasons I ain't fucking with them. Trish Tech and some more than her. Guess she couldn't even afford a winner. I'm open late, don't need a scale. And it's always off a sneak, wishing well. I double down, slick shit to spell. Shawty no, I don't kiss and tell. I'm faded, 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 faded. I'm faded, 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 faded. I'm faded, 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 faded. I'm faded, 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 faded.
Welcome to the greatest damn show on YouTube.
Okay. All right.
Welcome to the greatest damn show on YouTube.
There we go. There we go. There we go. What we doing, chat? What we doing, chat? Let me make sure my camera and all of this right, man. Let me make sure the camera and everything good, chat. You know what I'm saying? Oh, man. Double tap the screen, shut live out. What we doing tonight, chat? Double tap the screen, shut live out. What we doing tonight, chat? They say everyone is in shambles. Epstein cover-up confirmed. Trump's name redacted. What next? We got an action-packed episode, man. I hope everybody is locked in tonight, man. I need y'all locked. I'm talking about Spidey senses tingling, man. I need y'all locked in tonight, chat. Double tap the screen, shut live out. I don't care if you far left, far right, liberal, conservative, Marxist, fascist, alien, NPC. I had a little spit in my mouth. Let me redo that shit, chat. Rewind. Ain't that how old Shay be saying? Rewind. What was I saying? Yeah. Where was I at? Oh, yeah. I don't care if you Marxist, fascist, liberal, conservative, or alien NPC. Get your ass in. We finna have no conversation tonight. So call your auntie, uncle, and your cousin. Tell them plug live, and he running his mouth, man. Chat, we got an action-packed episode, man. We finna get all the way into it. I'm gonna pull up them pictures and all of that in a minute. But we got JD Vance coming at Jasmine Crockett, for wanting to run for senator. We got Jasmine Crockett responding to her. They said the U.S. is pursuing another tanker near Venezuela. I told y'all what was going to happen, man. I'm just going to keep it all the way real. I called it, what was it, yesterday, the day before this episode. We seeing it playing out right now. What else do we have? We got the Epstein photos. I also read some of that document, that 119-page document that was redacted. I did read some of that, and it was looking crazy. Also, they said something about they've added back Trump's name in a couple of those things. So all of the people that was coming in saying Trump wasn't in the files, we're gonna figure all of that out. All right, chat. Double tap the screen. Shut live out, man. We got Nicki Minaj at Amfest over there with TPUSA. I don't know what the hell they got Nicki Minaj over there for. But it's they said she called JD Vance an assassin, the assassin. She called JD Vance the assassin, man. Also, we got Tyler Chase above me. That was the kid off of Ned's Declassified Survival Guide, man. They say he out here looking bad, man. I'm not gonna lie. I seen it. It looked like he's down bad. What the hell is going on with all these Nickelodeon stars, man? Look like they took dude through the ringer and back a few times. I'm not gonna lie, chat. It's down bad, man. Let's get into it, though, chat. Y'all ready for the episode, man? Y'all ready for the episode, man? Let's get into that Venezuela first before I play this clip. No, I'm gonna play the clip of dude first, man. This is the child star, man, from Ned's Declassified Survival Guide, man. And I'm not gonna lie, chat, he's looking pretty fucked up out here, bro. Like,
yeah. I remember you. Yeah. Did you play on Disney Channel? Nickelodeon. Oh, it doesn't Nickelodeon. What show?
Bro, I'm not gonna lie. Damn! Is this what happens to the child Stars? Like, damn, bruh. Damn.
Wait, did you play on Disney Channel?
Nickelodeon.
Oh, Nickelodeon. What show is it again?
Nancy Classified Exclusive.
Oh yeah, you were that kid on it, huh? Yeah.
He was the damn star.
I remember you. Yeah. Wait, did you play on Disney Channel?
This is wild, chat. Like, this is part of my childhood, dude. Like, what? Ned's declassified school survival. What, bruh? Who do we blame here, chat? Of course, he's grown. He's an adult. Do we blame the industry? Do we blame his parents? Is it just life? I mean, look, bro. He has a damn Las Vegas Raiders shirt on, man. He's that damn bad. He's wearing a Raiders shirt, man. Like, what the hell is going on?
Did you play on Disney Channel?
Nickelodeon.
Oh, Nickelodeon. What show is it again?
Nancy Classified Exclusive.
Oh yeah, you were that kid on it, huh? Yeah.
What the hell is them? I'm trying to figure out if he got pants on her. Like, are those shorts with leggings on up under them, or them pants? Man, it don't even matter, man. He's hanging outside of the liquor store and shit, man, like a regular person, man. He's all outside the liquor store, man. Look, bro, he's outside the liquor store, man. Chest out. Damn, man.
Yeah. I remember you. Yeah.
Golly, man, y'all couldn't have paid me to say that this guy was gonna turn out like that, man. 36 years old, man. 36 years old, man, and they got him out from a child star to outside the fucking liquor store is crazy, bro. I'm not gonna lie, bro. What's up, Larry? I'm not gonna lie, bro. From a child star to outside the liquor store is crazy work, brother. Crazy work, brother. All right, chat. We're gonna move on to that Venezuela right quick. We're gonna move on. Why am I not in the camera, bro? Something is going on, man. I lean up and then, like, I don't know. I know my head kind of big, chat. Like, I know my head takes up a large portion of this little box and shit. But when I lean up like this and get to, doing shit on the computer, it's like my whole damn head not in there. It's crazy. Crazy, man. All right. So we talked about Venezuela yesterday. This right here is a video that said Venezuela's military is escorting the oil tankers out there. So I told y'all that Venezuela was going to have to switch it up. They thought that Trump was just they thought it was all good. Then Trump went and took the tanker. He took the first tanker to 1.9 million barrels of oil, and said that we were going to keep it. That tanker was sanctioned by Biden, I believe in 22 or 23. I think it was 23. So what did Maduro do? He started sending his military out there with the boats, but the sanctioned boats. He was trying to send the unsanctioned boats just out there on the water on their damn own. Well, yesterday or day before, I think it was yesterday, they seized one of those boats. So now on today, they have military back escorting boats, which I predicted, like, hey, they're going to have to escort the boats or we're just going to keep taking them, and then it becomes a money game. This is their means. This is their country's means, shipping their oil out. We got the blockade there. We start taking the oil, taking the tankers. It's going to get really crazy. Well, they actually are pursuing another tanker. I'm finna pull it up, and they're saying the other tanker is flying false flags. So the tankers are flying other countries' flags or other organizations' flags to try to circumvent these sanctions, because before everybody thought it was a sanction on the oil tankers, but we seen Kristi Noem come out yesterday and said that the sanction was on the oil. It don't matter who's carrying the oil. It don't matter what's carrying the oil. The sanction is on the damn oil, chat. So let's get into it, man. Let's get into it. The sanction is on the damn oil, man. So we see Maduro sending out military with that, but there are as of earlier today, U.S. forces were in pursuit of a third tanker, and this tanker that I'm telling y'all about now, they said it tried to circumvent the sanctions by flying false flags. Let's get into it.
We're also closely following tonight developments surrounding Venezuela. U.S. official telling CNN the United States is pursuing a vessel in international waters near Venezuela. Now, it's understood that this tanker was sailing toward Venezuela to pick up oil when U.S. Coast Guard personnel attempted to board. The vessel itself is under U.S. sanctions for links to Iranian oil, and this is the second vessel targeted this weekend by the Trump administration. All of this, of course, coming after President Trump this week announced a total blockade, in his words, of sanctioned oil tankers into and out of it.
So, chat, for everybody who kind of doesn't realize, like, that total blockade will crush Venezuela, crush them. Swift, they're losing money crazy. We got to understand that 1.9 million barrels of oil, that was off one tanker. So let's just compound that. The total blockade is putting the damn squeeze on Maduro, putting the squeeze on the regime, and putting the squeeze on the people of Venezuela. That's their lifeblood. Oil is the lifeblood of their country, man. And it's a blockade.
As he looks to ramp up pressure on its leader, Nicolas Maduro. Joining me now, CNN Global Affairs analyst Kimberly Dozier. So, Kim, when we look at what is happening here, the U.S. is really focusing on this pressure point of oil for the Venezuelan economy. How would you assess that as a strategy based on what we're seeing?
Well, at least it doesn't bring up the outrage that hitting the alleged narco-terrorist boats does. The actions of seizing a vessel with sanctioned oil on it.
You said it's called marine piracy. You overtake an oil tanker by militaristic force, not rocket science. I agree with that, JG, but it's also part of the Monroe Doctrine 2.0 that Trump just rolled out. Maritime dominance. That's the Monroe Doctrine 2.0 called for maritime dominance. Not just, you know what I'm saying? I mean, marine piracy or maritime dominance. It's kind of like a tomato. You know what I'm saying? You call it marine piracy, and Trump administration and this national security policy, the Monroe Doctrine 2.0, is calling it maritime dominance, man.
It's something largely recognized in international law. It's something that the U.S.'s European allies would like the U.S. to be doing to Russian Ghost Fleet oil tankers. But what it does is also ratchet up the financial and economic pressure on Maduro and on his allies, like Cuba. This oil is often headed to Cuba, which either uses it.
You said we can't keep making up excuses for Trump's failed policy. I'm with this shit. I'm just gonna keep it all the way real. Out of a lot of this shit, I'm with this shit, man, because it's now or never. It's now or never. I don't think people like everybody wants to have this shit. This is why I got on one last night. Not you, Hannibal. I see you, JG. Not you, Hannibal. But we want to live in this beautiful world. The world has never been beautiful since people have had sticks and stones. People been fucking fighting. Let's just be all the way honest. So we see that Russia and China has a foothold in Venezuela. Russians supplying them with weaponry, more military type things, and China is financial backing. China just came out with that $100,000 hypersonic missile, and it's already being produced at scale. Two of those oil tankers go over there to China in exchange for some of those hypersonic missiles. It's over with. The foothold is established. It's a now or never moment, man. If Venezuela gets their hands on, let's just say, a few $100 million worth of those hypersonic missiles, it'll cost us billions. It's a now or never. China's got the small oil refineries down there. Not only do they have the Venezuelan oil, they have their own small refineries down there refining it and sending it. It's a foothold there. The Monroe Doctrine 2.0 is totally against that, man. Get China the hell up out over there, man. get Russia the hell up out over there as not a stronger foothold and keep the EU from colonizing shit. No colonialism, man. Keep the EU the hell up out the way. That's what the Monroe Doctrine 2.0 is. So I'm kind of with that shit. I'm not gonna lie to you, because I'm looking at it from a now or never perspective. Y'all can disagree with me. Y'all can say, fuck you, plug. You don't know. It's my opinion, man. It's my thoughts. It's my damn opinion. It's a now or never moment.
I believe for free, and what it doesn't use, it sells on. So it's a lifeline both for the Venezuelan regime, because Maduro uses it to pay for the security forces and all the people who help him stay in power.
And y'all notice I haven't talked about Iran or Hezbollah, their support. I'm not going to, not to sound insensitive or to just say I don't give a fuck, because I mean, it is what it is. I'm saying that it's a now or never moment. I'm not saying that we got to go in there and do all of this because that oil money is supplying the Hezbollah and the Iran. I'm not one of those people. I'm one of those people like, hey, look, if we don't get a chokehold on this shit now, man, it's going to get crazy, man. Crazy. Especially with them hypersonic missiles.
It helps allies like Cuba also stay in power with regimes that are thought to be not so democratic.
And in terms of, as you point out, in terms of how it's being received, certainly more well received, as you point out, than the targeting of these alleged narco-terrorists. Is it also in many ways a more effective pressure campaign that sort of buys...
Hey, Nicholas Kirk, hold my fucking nuts. You calling me a Muppet? The ignorance and political illiteracy of Yanks would be hilarious if it wasn't so dangerous. No colonialism, but America is being colonialist. You Muppet. Nobody gives a fuck when they're doing the bad shit. I'm sorry that I have to be an adult and tell you that. I thought it was common fucking sense, man. Do as I say, not as I do. That's what... God, bro. Damn, man. Why do y'all think this world is just peaches and fucking cream, dude? It's not. It's not, man.
Administration a little time as well. We know the president has teased there could be further intervention, potentially on the ground, but this would seem to put a pause on that.
See, they hate it, man. Now I gotta reset the live, man. They done fucked me up, man. Hold on, chat. I'll be right back. Y'all give me 1 second, man. I'll be right back. Damn, they done fucked my live up, man. I done got the yelling and doing shit, man. I gotta make a video too, chat, to tell y'all. Matter of fact, somebody screen record this, because I have been having a lot of weird shit happen, and we finna get back right to the show. But a lot of weird shit has been going on around me, chat, and I just want y'all to know I'm not suicidal. I'm healthy. I'm not gonna take my life. I'm not sad about anything, man. I'm a man. I go through shit, but that's just what it is. I go through shit. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to harm myself, man. Real talk, man. It's been some weird shit going on around me. But let me reset this live right quick. Hold on, chat. I'll be right back. Like 15 seconds, man. Y'all double tap the screen. Share the live out.
In international waters near Venezuela, now it's understood that this tanker was sailing toward Venezuela to pick up oil when U.S. Coast Guard personnel attempted
Why does it keep doing
The
that?
vessel itself is under U.S. sanctions for links to Iranian oil, and this is the second vessel targeted this weekend by the Trump administration.
I don't know, chat. Y'all, I'm gonna have to do it again. I'm gonna have to reset it again. I don't know what's going on, but yeah, this shit is crazy, man. This shit is crazy, man. They fucking with me, man. Who is they, plug? I don't know.
Pursuing a vessel in international waters near Venezuela. Now, it's understood that this tanker was sailing toward Venezuela to pick up oil when U.S. Coast Guard personnel attempted to board. The vessel itself is under U.S. sanctions for links to Iranian oil, and this is the second vessel targeted this weekend by the Trump administration. All of this, of course, coming after President Trump this week announced a total blockade, in his words, of sanctions.
All right, chat, we back. Press 1 if we back. Let's get in the algorithm. We need to get the likes up too, man. Y'all been shortchanging me on the likes lately. I'm not gonna lie. Y'all been really shortchanging me on the damn likes. And I don't like that shit, man. I don't know how else to say it to y'all, man. I don't like that shit, man. Y'all can't come in here, hit the like button and shit, man. I'm over here going through weird shit, man.
developments.
Weird ass shit, man. Hold on, let me move this up, man. I come in this motherfucker today, chat. It say my laptop is on a wired internet connection. I ain't even got no fucking Wi-Fi box in this bitch. And y'all don't want to hit the like, but how? I ain't got no fucking Wi-Fi box in this bitch, man. I come in here 2 days in a row and my shit says wired. Like I'm on the internet wired. How? I'm on a hotspot, man. My hotspot's turned off. The hell is going on, chat? Then I got random people walking up to me and shit, talking about I'm protected and shit like that, man. I'm going through some shit right now, chat. I just want y'all to know that, man. I need y'all to hit the like button for me. What else is going on? Oh, last night we on live. Y'all didn't see how the live ended last night. I said that I think that this is the last generation, that we are in the last generation till we become more alien-like. I said with this transhumanism shit, man, the Neuralink and everything that's going on, we're becoming and then they cut my live off. The minute I said that shit, y'all didn't see that last night? Go watch last night live. The minute I said that shit, ended the fucking live, bro. Ended the live. Like, what? What? Out of nowhere. I'm sitting here like this. My hands is over here. I'm not touching nothing. Live just cut off. It's just shit I go through over here, man. Then I get on my damn algorithm and they feed me all this damn, you know the algorithm feeds you shit, right? And I see the dude, the ex-CIA dude on there talking about the reason they holding the UFO files is because it's going to change what we believe in reality. People not going to want to live forever and shit no more. And it's like, man, come on, bro. I'm going through some shit. Just like the damn video. Like the damn video, man. But yeah, I'm going to make me a little video today to let y'all know, man. I do not plan on harming myself. I'm A-okay, man. I go through some shit just like everybody else, man. It is what it is. Don't want to harm myself. Never did.
Maduro and on his allies, like Cuba. This oil is often headed to Cuba, which either uses it, I believe, for free, and what it doesn't use itself.
See, this what you don't know, 5-line WAP. I done came over here. I done lives where we done 1 million views in a live, bro. If you don't know that, now you know, man. I done 500. Go look. Oh, you're not a member. You probably can't see. Spend $5 and look. Those members only lives, 1 million views on a live. 800,000 on lives. 500,000. We did like for like 3-4 months straight. It seemed like we couldn't do less than 200,000 on a live. You sit here running your mouth. Hold my nuts. How about that? Whoop your ass the fuck up out of here, man.
So it's a lifeline both for the Venezuelan regime, because Maduro uses it to pay for the security forces and all the people who help him stay in power. And then it helps allies like Cuba also stay in power with regimes that are thought to be not so democratic.
And in terms of, as you point out, in terms of how it's being received, certainly more well received, as you point out, than
all right, Kevin,
of these alleged narco-terrorists. Is it also in many ways a more effective pressure campaign that sort of buys the administration a little time as well? We know the president has teased there could be further intervention, potentially on the ground, but this would seem to put a pause on that.
Well, what it does is hopefully try to ratchet up enough pressure on Maduro that if President Trump decides to take military action, say in the form of aerial strikes, the kind of thing that he ordered against Iran, that Maduro would be in a fragile enough state to actually want to leave power. The American public is largely against the idea of a military invasion, according to multiple major polls, though that is split with Democrats and independents on one side, and most of the Republicans apparently favoring some quick strike. The problem with quick strikes is they might not work, and if Donald Trump decides to strike Maduro with some sort of air operation and Maduro still stays in power, that makes Trump look weak. So in the interim, while he buys time before such a strike, by grabbing this oil, it will hopefully, from the strategy perspective, take the support away from Maduro and make him consider options like perhaps fleeing to an ally like Moscow.
Perhaps not surprisingly, Republican Senator Rand Paul is really pushing back on this pressure campaign from the administration. Here's a little of what he had to say, specifically addressing the seizure of oil tankers.
I consider it a provocation and a prelude to war, and I hope we don't go to war with Venezuela. look, at any point in time, there are 20, 30 governments around the world that we don't like that are either socialist or communist or have human rights violations. We could really literally go through a couple dozen, but it isn't the job of the American soldier to be the policeman of the world.
There is some concern about what could happen should Maduro be forced out of power. What would be left there on the ground and the role that the U.S. would be expected to play there. Is it your sense that that has been sort of thought through and gained out by the administration based on your sources?
Well, of course, the administration hopes that if they got Maduro to leave, that someone like Maria Machado, who just won a Nobel Prize and is a popular politician in Venezuela, would take office. But Maduro leaves behind.
I think that's the lady that she's talking about, the Maria lady. I think that's the lady that pledged that $1.7 trillion pipeline, man. She pledged $1.7 trillion worth of business. I think that's the lady's name. If it isn't her, it's someone that she's surrounded by. That's who they want to replace Maduro with. The lady that pledged the $1.7 trillion says she gonna open up that Venezuelan oil to America. And that's what this shit is about, Chad. I'm just gonna be all the way real. That's what this shit is probably about, man. It's crazy.
Really?
That and the Chinese influence, man. That and the influence in the region.
Military network and also an insurgency network, armed gangs across the country. That
It was always about oil, Grace. So this is what I'm gonna say, Grace. It was always about oil and about the influence. So we gotta walk back the timeline. Boom. Trump comes in, right? What is it? Venezuela wasn't getting, targeted like that, but the Venezuelans were being targeted like that. Oh, Maduro emptied his prisons and let the most violent criminals cross our borders. So let's take this away from Venezuela and America and let's take it across the pond. What are they saying across the pond with all of these people all of these immigrants and migrants that are coming over there? They're saying, why are they sending military-aged men? Why are they flooding our country with military-aged men? Same situation. Now, before we get to the oil and everything, it was the perception. It was, they're flooding our borders with the worst violent criminals, so we got to get them out. Boom. Venezuela won. That was the prelude to what was going on, because I seen a clip. I forgot the guy's name, but in 2023, he predicted it. This was before Trump had even won second term. Trump was campaigning, I think. It was 2024, I think he said it. 2023, 2024. Trump was campaigning. He said, Trump's going to win the election. He's going to take Venezuela. He's going to go after Venezuela, and he's going to let Ukraine go to Russia. And he said this, and I just seen the clip like 3 or 4 days ago, and it's like, we see it playing out right now. But yeah, that's what it was. He couldn't just come out and be like, hey, we're going to get oil. So it was the Venezuela. First, it was the Venezuelans flooding our borders. Then it was the drugs. It was the fentanyl. Now they haven't said fentanyl as much anymore. They're saying illegal drugs, which is cocaine, whatever. It went from that, the new national security strategy dropped. The Monroe Doctrine 2.0. He couldn't come out and make it this big of a deal until the paper trail was there. Now he has a backbone. He has a standing. The Monroe Doctrine 2.0. This is what we're doing. This gives us the reason to go in for the oil tankers. Yes, we were blowing boats up out of the water. We did that for the drugs. Yes, we did do mass deportations, and a lot of those were targeted at the Venezuelans, but they emptied their prisons with violent criminals. Yes, we are seizing these oil tankers, but it's for the Monroe Doctrine 2.0. See, the Monroe Doctrine 2.0 wasn't in play then. It was being put together, or it hadn't been released to the public. So they couldn't go in and just, it would have been a lot more questions. Now, when you ask the question, why is it about the oil? They can say it's about the oil because it's Monroe Doctrine 2.0. You know what I'm saying? Like, look, we got to get this Chinese influence out of here, this Russian influence out of here, man. We have to seize control of the Western Hemisphere, man, the Americas. The Americas, that's what it said. The United States is to control the Americas, man. That's the backbone. Is it right? Is it wrong? That's a different conversation. Y'all can call in and we can have that conversation as well. But that's what's going on. It is about the oil, but they couldn't put it out there until they had something to stand on. Now they got the Monroe Doctrine 2.0 to stand on to give validation to what's going on. They modernized the threats. Yeah.
That could make it very hard to stabilize that country. Or worse, for Trump, he could try to take some sort of action and yet Maduro prevails. So he's really in a rock and a hard place situation. Does launch something though, it can become a Vietnam-like situation. That might sound like an exaggeration, but you know, it looks easy from the outside, but you invest a little bit and that doesn't work, and then you invest more, all of a sudden you can find yourself in a situation.
That's what it was, a soft launch into this war. You know what I'm saying? It was a soft launch. It was like I just gave y'all the rundown. The legal criminals, the boats, and now we're here for this. It was a soft launch. It was like a rollout. Like y'all know I got a marketing background. Like it's kind of like an album release. Like you drop a single, you know what I'm saying? Drop a video, then you roll out the project. You know what I'm saying? It's a soft release, you know.
Armed conflict where there's no way to get out and declare victory, and that would start to turn Trump's own base against him. They don't want to see any return to a forever war.
No, and he has certainly said that he does not want to be involved in one either, so we'll be watching that as well.
Is this an effective way for the U.S. to put pressure on the...
All right, let's move on from that, man. Let's move on from that video right there. They still in the Discord thugging. All right, chat. We finna where is that at? All right, I got a couple clips of JD Vance, man. Let's see what JD Vance was talking, man. Nicki Minaj called JD Vance the assassin too, man. She called him an assassin. It's crazy. I'm not gonna lie, Nicki Minaj at this Amfest is kind of wild to me. She's coming at Gavin Newsom pretty hard. She called Trump handsome and dashing. Shit, it is what it is. Who am I to hate on Trump? Hell, she think he handsome and dashing. She just do.
Talked about publicly before, but in the days after Charlie's death, I struggled a great deal. I'm sure many of you did too. I remember watching every video of the assassination, looking for clues, trying to understand what happened. I try to hide my friend and that terrible bullet hitting him, but I would try to look around. I stayed up all night, for many nights in a row, researching every conspiracy theory, going down every rabbit hole. When my lovely wife...
I thought it only took 33 hours to get Tyler Robinson. I thought y'all had the best FBI and, you know, the best investigators and shit. Y'all closed this case in 33 hours, man. Now, why the fuck is you staying up for nights investigating and shit? That's what we supposed to do.
Wife Usha told me to come to bed. I told her I owed it to Charlie to try to uncover every stone, and so that's what I tried to do.
Okay, uncover every
Remember,
stone.
I was consumed by this fear that Charlie's death wouldn't just deprive a family of their husband or of a good father, but that it would deny our movement of a great unifier of people and a great doer of great deeds. The time I can remember my wife ever telling me that she was really worried about me. She told me it many times. Save me was not lying to myself, but accepting the reality of the fight that we're in. Death was an immense loss, an irreplaceable loss. It's in the teeth.
I don't know, but the Republicans got to get a better damn strategy together. Like the Republicans, like right now, it's kind of, I don't know, the Democrats do it too, but right now it's just really bad for the Republicans. It's like, we see that y'all have infighting going on over there, and now instead of addressing the nation's problems, it's like y'all are pushing it to the Democrats, to the left. Like, shit is crazy, bro.
An irreplaceable loss. It's in the teeth, my friends, and there's no sugarcoating it or pretending that it didn't happen. We need to accept that. And what saved me was realizing that the story of the Christian faith, like the story of these United States of America, is one of immense loss followed by even bigger victory. Tell you something.
You said stop lying. I'm not lying, man. Watch this fucking clip. Let me find this clip. All right, you see JD Vance alluded to the violence, man. Then they follow up with this shit, man. Listen, bro. The right whole playbook right now, I can write this shit down, man. It's to turn everything back to the left, man. That's all they're gonna do is turn it back to the left. It's like just a... They got infighting going on right now. What they are calling the traditionals, MAGA, and the woke right. Is there 3 different factions. You got the traditional Republicans, you got MAGA, then you got the woke right. They're all infighting. So they're like, look, we got to quit this shit. Let's push it back to the left. Instead of pushing it to America like what we need to do, or to what's up with everything that's going on, they want to push that shit to the left. Let me find this shit. Here you go. This the shit I'm talking about. It's like, bro, who wrote this script?
I am sick of the division. I am calling it out. I call it out to its face. I disavow it. I'm sick of it. They're out killing us, and we're in here squabbling and bitching and moaning, and I'm sick of it, and I've had enough. I've had enough! Charlie Kirk was somebody who united. I am sick of the division. I am calling it out. I call it out to its face. I disavow it. I'm sick of it. They're out killing us, and we're in here squabbling and bitching and moaning, and I'm sick of it, and I've had enough. I've had enough! You know who also said naughty words, about Donald Trump? J.D. Vance. There was a time J.D. Vance has answered for this a million times, that J.D. Vance didn't start off as a big-time Trump supporter. Because of Charlie Kirk uniting...
So the caption he put on this is, I'm sick of the division, I'm calling it out, I disavow it. The left is out here unaliving us, and we're out here squabbling and bitching about our feelings. Enough. So yeah, man. They finna push that shit to the left, man. They finna push everything to the left, because you got the traditionals, the woke right, and MAGA all got their own shit going on.
Our movement, we got this ticket. This was Charlie's legacy. And because of Charlie's legacy, we got the greatest meme in history. J.D. Vance. Go against J.D. Vance. Guess who else Charlie united? Charlie created the Maha movement. We need to say that. Charlie united. This was a turning point event. Charlie made this happen. And because of Charlie creating the Maha movement, we got this photo. Which is like an ISIS hostage photo. Have you ever seen RFK's face? It's like, I'm about to be beheaded by the seed oils. Charlie Kirk united 2 of the most powerful men in the world, Elon Musk and Donald Trump. This was Charlie's movement. A lot of these guys didn't like each other, but Charlie put them together for a united cause, because we have a united enemy, and it was at Charlie Kirk's memorial here in Arizona where these 2 men reconciled. That's the Spirit of God in action. So as I watch some of the people trying to destroy this movement from the inside, as I watch some of what's been happening here on stage, maybe we could lower that a little bit, but beautiful worship music. Who was there at Charlie Kirk's memorial? Who watched it online? Who watched the memorial? Look at this. What happened here? It was so beautiful. This was the #1 apostolic event in human history. hundreds of revival, a true Christian revival. Charlie Kirk, he said, I want to be remembered for advancing the kingdom of Christ. And this was it, ladies and gentlemen. If you were there, if you watched online, billions of people around the world saw the president witness about his faith in Jesus Christ, saw all of us talk about our faith in Jesus Christ, and most importantly, we were all united against evil in this moment. Don't let them steal this from us. We have to recapture this. This is the energy that wins, because it is the Christian energy that is foundational to this nation, this movement. This is how we take our country back. Let's get back here.
All right, man, that's Benny Johnson, but I played that to, I really was supposed to read the clip, but long story short, short, long. All right, man, here go J.D. Vance calling out Jasmine Crockett. We're going to watch her response, then we're going to move on. I'll pull up some of these Epstein pictures, man. I seen Ghislaine Maxwell in that bikini in that pool, man, with that bob cut, man. I don't know who was in that pool with her.
Oh, Jasmine Crockett. The record speaks for itself. She wants to be a senator, though her street girl persona is about as real as her nails.
I ain't gonna lie. They said J.D. Vance changed his name like 3 times. So calling out somebody for not being they self is kind of crazy. I'm not gonna lie. Calling out after a couple name changes, calling out somebody for not being they self is pretty crazy. That's like the pot calling the kettle black, man. That's definitely like the pot calling the kettle black after that second, third name change, big dog.
Democrats have long dreamed of turning Texas blue, or even a bit more purple, and Congresswoman Jasmine
Let's hear her response. I just know she finna say something outlandish off the wall.
Crockett is hoping to finally make that dream a reality. She recently launched her campaign for the upcoming Texas Senate election, and as of now, she appears to be the front-runner, holding an 8-digit lead over her Democratic primary rival, Texas State Representative James Tallarico. And just hours ago, Vice President J.D. Vance weighed in on the race at the Turning Point USA conference.
Jasmine Crockett. Oh, Jasmine Crockett. The record speaks for itself. She wants to be a senator, though her street girl persona is about as real as her nails.
And Congresswoman Jasmine Crockett is back here with us. So, Congresswoman, let's start right there. With the way that the Vice President speaks about you, the caricature he tried to make of you at this conservative youth conference, I think every black woman heard what he was trying to say there. It's extra laughable in a way, because what precedes this moment is him coming out, to a...
This shit is crazy, bro. This shit is fucking crazy, bro. Now, everybody that watched that video heard what he said, right? Why the fuck is this newscaster saying every black woman heard it? Everybody heard it. Now, we know this news lady is what? Reading a teleprompter. So why did they put that in the script? You didn't say that everyone's seen. Listen to her stumble. She stumbles on saying every black woman. She knew they put that shit in the script for her to say. Watch her stumble over it. Watch.
Conference. I think every black woman heard what he was trying to say there. It's extra laughable in a way, because what precedes this moment is him coming out, to an entire pyrotechnic show and rock music, and
all he did was say her street girl persona is about as real as her nails. Okay. Okay.
For him to comment on your flair, but what do you think he's trying to say there? What do you think he's trying to signal at a conference like this to an audience like this?
Well, first of all, he's trying to rile up his base because right now we know that no matter if we're looking in deep red Tennessee, Mississippi, or Georgia, we know that we're swinging no less than 10 points. And unlike what we've had historically in Texas, because I know that you talked about the Texas dream of turning us blue, is that we have a candidate in me who absolutely plans to talk to any and everybody, and that is why they are afraid. The fact that he said I have a quote-unquote street girl persona, I'm sorry, but anybody that you talk to knows my credentials. They know that I've gone to school. They know that I'm educated. I never tried to put on some random story.
See, now this is where I get a damn, I get the problem. Because, like, Top Cat, you said he was out of line. Maybe he was out of line. But let's be real. He didn't say nothing about her hair. It's like, damn, what the fuck, what can he say? He can't come at her hair, of course. If he would have said something about her hair off top, boom. He can't come at her about her. He said nails, bro. All women get their nails done. Most of the younger women, 30, maybe 40 and under, get longer nails. Now, if he would have said as fake as her damn wig, I would have been with y'all. If he would have been like as fake as her damn wig or something, I would have been with y'all. But the nails.
Where I came from, but at the end of the day, I am who I am, and I am authentic. And that is actually what they are fearful of, is my authenticity, because it rings true with every single American, whether they're a Texan or not. It rings true that I am fighting for real everyday people. And instead of talking about policy, when you're talking about the record speaks for itself, baby, let's talk about your record. Because the only reason you're the vice president is because the current president tried to have his last president killed. Let's talk about qualifications. Let's talk about who has actually been fighting for people way before she ever ran for office. Whether it was in the courtroom or if it was in the streets, making sure those that were out there wanting to exercise their constitutional right to come together and protest injustices. I was representing pro bono people that were getting arrested as they were out in the streets.
Now, see, this is where I get, like, damn, if it was a white woman and he said it about the nails and shit, y'all would have been like, it's just the women. Now he's attacking women. So are we upset because he said something about nails because she's a woman, or is it nails because she's a black woman? I'm just gonna be real because, damn, are they gonna beef or not? Like, we see this shit going on the house floor all the time. They throw insults, they do the shit, man. He said her street attitude is about as fake as her nails. Okay, now are we talking about the nails, or are we talking about the fake street attitude? Motherfuckers code switch. I don't know why y'all acting like that shit don't go on. White people code switch. Black people code switch. Latinos code switch. Haitians. Everybody code switches, man. Depending on who the fuck you around. I'm just gonna be the one to say it, man. I don't talk to y'all like I would talk if I was somewhere else, man. Let's just be real. I'm in the confinement of my home, man. I get the yelling and I get the cussing and shit. But when I go out in the public, bro, I'm not finna walk in Walmart and get to talking to somebody crazy like this, man. Unless they get out of line. It probably won't be too much talking then anyway. So let's just be honest. Motherfuckers code switch. When you calling and you talking to your kids, it sounds different than when you calling and talking to your damn employer. When you're calling and talking to your in-laws, it sounds a little bit different than when you're calling and talking to your brother, man. Let's just be fucking real here. Let's just be real. appreciate that $10, Goat Show. Everybody does it. You don't go into church on Sunday morning acting like you did Saturday night in the club. You don't. How many of y'all code switched on Sunday mornings? Man, I have. Out in the club and then being at church Sunday. Come on, man. How many of y'all went to work drunk? Tried to get it together.
So listen, I don't have time for him and their games. They are scared and they should be scared. I need Texans to focus in. I need them.
What do Latinos code switch about? Saying nigga, shit, man. Same thing when they go to work. They don't talk to their boss and shit like they talk to their Migo partners. The same fucking thing. That's how they code switch. Same thing. Hell, when they sitting around with their buddies doing whatever the hell they want, they don't talk like that, man. They don't talk like they would if they had at a damn job or something, man, around their employer. They're not gonna talk to their abuela like they gonna talk to their cousin. Straight up. You don't. If you're not code switching, that means you the same no matter what. It don't matter if it's your grandma, your mama, your employer, the preacher. It don't matter who it is. Right?
To think about the fact that our two senators literally just voted against extending the Affordable Care Act tax subsidies that would help an additional almost 4 million people that are on the marketplace. In a state where we have 5 million that are completely uninsured, they basically are trying to put another 4 million people off of their insurance. And this is before we endure the cuts that are coming because of the big...
Rick Young, you lying. If you handle your kids the same way, you handle people in the streets, you might be fucked up, Rick. I'm just gonna be all the way honest. You might be a little fucked up if you handle your kids the same way you handle people in the street.
Ugly bill when we know 17 million people in this country are going to lose their health care. Listen, I'm staying focused. I'm not going to be distracted. And when they can tell me about their policies that are helping Texans, then we can have a conversation. Until then, take whatever shots you want to take at me, because I have been a black woman my entire life. I promise you, there are other people just like J.D. Vance who have tried to do the same racist tropes my entire life. And somehow I ascended and became a U.S. Congresswoman. It will not be different when I become a U.S. Senator.
Thank you, Christ follower.
When I get to the Senate floor, if he wants to talk.
Congresswoman, I'm so glad you brought up policy. I went back and I watched your launch speech about your campaign for Senate. And a lot of it was talking about the back and forth with Trump and other people who have put you down over the years. But there really wasn't that much about policy. So I want to give you the opportunity now to talk a little bit about that. Affordability is on everyone's minds. You talked.
What's up, Puzzles? I forgot the GOAT Show was you, man. My bad. What it do, Puzzles? Welcome in, man. Y'all roll out the red carpet for Puzzles.
About extending the ACA subsidies. Can you give us, like, a couple of other examples of policies that you would fight for to help Texans, your constituents, on affordability issues if you were granted a seat in the Senate?
Yeah, so first of all, I think we need to raise the minimum wage. We have not done that in a national way, and so Texas is not taking it upon themselves, so the minimum wage is still $7.25. We can start to go ahead and put more money into working people's pockets, and whether you're a minimum wage worker or otherwise.
Hey, chat, I'm not gonna lie, I was living in Texas, and they will try to give your ass $9. Like, that's just, you know what I'm saying, amazing. Like, minimum wage $7.25, we giving your ass $9, man. That's it, that's all. Crazy.
That once you raise the minimum wage, everyone else's wages go up. We know that costs are going up to the extent that we know that when people were showing up in those food lines, as the president was sending $40 billion over to Argentina instead of making sure
appreciate that, girl, Dad.
To get their SNAP benefits had their money. We know that there were a lot of working class people. we have somehow decided that in this country we were okay with 2 senators from Texas voting to make tax cuts for billionaires.
So I told y'all, chat, that Crockett's probably going to win the Democratic primary in Texas, but that's going to make it tougher for the Democrats to win Texas. Tarico, because Jasmine Crockett's polarizing. You know what I'm saying? It's not really an in-between with Jasmine Crockett when it comes to that. It's like they love her or they hate her. The in-between crowd, the crowd that just is like, she might push them away. Tarico will probably get, because, you know, Tarico will probably get the moderate, you know, the people that's a little moderate or whatever. Tarico could probably get them. Jasmine Crockett, man, she might alienate those people.
Permanent, while at the same time not being.
But I feel like she's gonna run away with the primary, and then I don't know if Ken Paxton wins the Republican primary, Crockett can probably beat Paxton. Though. I'm not gonna lie, it depends.
Okay, with making sure the tax subsidies that are temporary are available as it relates to healthcare. We also know that we are in Texas and we do trading big. We are one of the largest trading states in this entire world. And with that, we know that we are experiencing record bankruptcies from...
Top Cat, give me like 5 minutes. Let's finish this clip, man. How your phone finna die, man?
A lot of our small businesses because of the tariff policies that this president has decided he wanted to implement. It is time to rein him in. It is time to implement some sort of checks and balances because he has exceeded his power. We also know that ultimately, when I came down to making this decision, the Senate is the one that actually has oversight over the Supreme Court. It is time for us to actually exercise some oversight, and this is the only court, the highest court in the land. It's the only one that does not have any type of ethics that they have to follow. I think that we need to look at that. In addition to the fact, anyone who gets a lifetime appointment has to go through the Senate. And so it's time for us to make sure that we have someone who has been in those courtrooms and can make sure that the right judges are on the benches.
Yo, Congressman,
what it do, Top Cat?
Man, my phone, they didn't use up my battery in the Discord, pissing me off. If
Yeah.
I had a foot long enough, I'd have went across some states and went straight, kicked somebody in their ass. Damn. Yeah, but I was like, I just wanted to discuss that little point that you was talking about with how he was basically what she was rebuttaling to, and how he used that platform to do some hell of a sneak dissing that I don't think had nothing to do with the politics at hand. You know, so when we look at black women and look at the potential, all women get things done, but all women ain't been getting things done for 400 years. You get what I'm saying? So black women have gotten to the position now that they can have some of these things that they used to provide for other people and couldn't do. So a lot of people don't know when he's speaking on those things. Before the Asian people came over here doing nails and taking over the industry, that was the industry of these people. It was housekeeping and beauty that they dealt with. And these same people that were putting nails on other people and working in their house and cleaning up after their kids couldn't even afford, even if they were doing that, to get their own nails done and do those certain beauty treatments to themselves. They had to be more affluent or whatever to do that. So I believe he knew exactly what the hell he was saying. And then that was just one point of throwing a dig.
Man, listen, Top Cat, what I would say is this. In politics, it's been dirty politicians. And nobody says anything that has to do with the politics at hand. We talk about Gavin Newsom fucking his friend's wife. We talk about Trump grabbing pussy. We talk about Hegseth. And we talk about everybody. We talk about Cash Patel maybe off coke. You know what I'm saying? This shit to do. Gavin Newsom just tweeted out on there. You probably didn't see it, but he just tweeted out and said, "Hope everyone's having a good day and stuff." The felon president, JD's couch, and all kind of crazy shit that had nothing to do with, this is what goes on though.
Yeah, you trying to win. That's California is again.
I'm saying, in politics, have we gotten to this point to where I understand the concept, Top Cat? I know where you come from, trust me. But outside of just being so protective of Jasmine Crockett because she is a black woman if we're just talking about the politics and shit, that it's like shit. She talks crazy about a lot of people, man. He said something about the nails. I get it. You saying he was toting a fine line. It is what it is. Motherfuckers told a fuck. It is what it is. If he would have said something about her hair, I could see the outrage. I could see the outrage. But with the nails and then the acting street, the fake street, whatever. Okay, she gets at him for the fake hillbilly shit. That's J.D. Vance's thing. All the other politicians come at J.D. Vance and said, oh, you really had a silver spoon. You really wasn't a hillbilly. That shit was fake. Same thing as calling her fake street.
Yeah, well, not to me. See, that's what I'm saying.
Why is it not, though?
Because all hillbillies ain't been fucking poor. They said being a hillbilly is like you just poor. No, that's being country.
All street people been poor? Everybody, all street people been poor?
No. That's why I said, but when he said street, he went over the whole point of it like you're not going to, when he said you're with that fake street persona. Well, look, what are you talking about? Because that's where I feel like that line, he kind of crossed it a little bit. Because
the fake street persona comes from...
They want to see those words, they say urban, they say street.
I get it, but you asked where did the fake street come from? It came from the Benny Johnson documentary where he went to where she's actually from in Missouri and the school she attended. She comes from a wealthy, affluent family. Like, so I'm not saying that's wrong. I know people that's wealthy and affluent and shit. You know, they go back home sometimes and shit. It is what it is. Nothing wrong with that. Be wealthy, be affluent. I'm with nepotism, all of that shit. It is what it is. I have no problems. But when we're talking about it's the same thing, Top Cat, then you can't tell me that you don't know about the kid, the suburban kid that try to be hood. Oh man, you don't even gotta be like that. How many people have you ran across that wanted to come to the hood but didn't have to be in the hood?
Yeah, that's that Malibu's most wanted. But this is the thing: in the political arena, it's all about what's face saving. Now I'm looking at her on a different potential because I can see that in her. I can see it, but where your roots come from, when you're saying because I act just like me, I'm out in California, but if anybody can hear it in my voice, I got a little Tennessee twang, I got some Florida twang just from my relatives and different stuff. I speak and act in my mannerisms. I have a lot of Southern mannerisms, just as long as a lot of West Coast and South mannerisms. So when I'm saying, when he says she's acting street, when she's not to us, that's not street. She's just being a black woman. And I don't care if you're in Missouri, if you're in Canada, if we go to South America and we go to the Palenque area, then women are still going to have traits that they do certain things, smack their lips, roll their eyes, and do certain things. So he generalized a certain thing that anybody that knows those people knows what the hell he's saying. You're acting street. No, he's saying you're a fake ghetto persona. Well, I'm telling you something. When she was in them schools or whatever, overachieving was something that you would have had to do in some of those situations, living in Missouri or living in those areas that are dominated by other people. You have to be an overachiever, or you're going to be exactly what they're calling you every time your ass get in that lunch line. And he played that line with her. So if you're going to ride and say, well, stop acting like this, girl, you know, from Missouri, go eat some cheese curds or something. Okay, that's fine. But then you're saying, oh, that fake street persona. No, there ain't nothing fake about this. When I go to my family reunions, when I deal with stuff, when I'm walking down these streets, I'm probably getting called more niggas than the average person that's in the urban environment. So that's why I'm saying, okay, you're kind of playing the line. You kind of stepped over it on that means. Yes, shoot your shot, but don't shoot your shot to a point where you're pushing away people. But then that comes to the point that he doesn't care about the opinion. You've seen that crowd that he was talking to. That's why he said, Charlie did this, Charlie did that. You're martyring something, then you're turning around and talking about the same people that he was talking to, that he had the biggest problem with him out of the urban district, with the black women, which he talked about the most. You know what they mean. They didn't never show his stuff. I'm going to hate on Charlie like that. They never showed anything completely through. But that was them editing it to get those sparks. That's why I say he was on a 50-50 guy. He might have had a good remark, and in the total it was great, but they knew how to market and get to the people. They knew to make you mad, to make you look. And then the ones that wouldn't look anymore, then they won't be interested anyway. And if you're not under this fake-ass Christian guideline that they're talking about, which because those two things don't mix, and they're sitting up there putting them together all the time. Oh, and God did this, and he did that. Man, shut your ass out of this. He ain't got nothing to do with all y'all smirky remarks and how y'all want to treat people. So I like the argument, and I see where you're coming from. I just given my position on it. I think that they should be. I think he should have said, "Shut your big black ass head up, you motherfucker." I mean, he could have said whatever he wanted. I would have been like, "Yeah, he's doing his Trump moves. He's putting some Trump moves to see how people are going to reflect and act on it, divisive thinking in the point of getting people's attention."
So this is what I think. This is what I think. I think that a lot of Americans felt like they failed Kamala Harris. I don't hate Jasmine Crockett. I actually, like when she get fired up and shit, I like it because it keeps a balance. It does keep a balance. But I feel like a lot of people felt like they failed Kamala on their side, and a lot of black women and black men feel like they failed Kamala on their side, and so they're doubling and tripling down on Jasmine Crockett to the point to where you can't say shit about it.
That's true. And
you can't say shit about it.
I mean, I'm from California, and I've seen what she did. I ain't no hate on her as a person, but in the political realm, I don't give a fuck about Kamala and how people chose on that. If you really are deciding on the next politician and somebody that you're going to put ahead to do different things for the people, and you're deciding that on a decision that you made in the past that you think that you made a mistake and this is not the same person, then you're being a fool in this arena. Because I like Jasmine, because it's more natural to me. How I see her acting, it's not outlandish to me. This is regular action with a person that's like her. I don't see why. I still feel like she has another mission. I don't trust no damn politician, and I don't give a damn if it's a woman with a weave hanging down her back or if it's a man sitting up there looking like Arnold Schwarzenegger. It doesn't make a difference.
But what's crazy is it's like, as a black man, though, Top Cat, this is the same type of action in the way that she presents herself, the snappy, the attitude, she's in politics, so it's a little bit different, but this is the same complaint that we hear from black men inside of the home all the time.
Yeah.
And now we're going to turn around and champion the shit. If we're going to be mad about it inside the house, then turn around and champion the shit in a political realm, it's kind of crazy to me.
It is crazy, but that's what makes it politics. You should have always been speaking about this. This is where these women are supposed to be, at the PTA meetings and whatever. These are where these attitudes first shined at, and were shining because they were in protection of their children and protection of their home. The problem is when that protection turns
Get
towards
the fuck out, Liv Tears.
That protection turns towards that. Now, this same zealousness, I feel like it's great, and I know that the Democratic Party, and I don't roll with none of them, but I just looking at the Democratic Party, she's making up for a lot of soft ass people that ain't saying or aren't going to the points that they need to go to. They'll hop up there and be ready to squab over global warming, but they're regular issues that deal with the people. They sit back and they let things happen and they don't jump on them. You can't be mad at Trump because he said, hold up, there's bad things happening here, and I'm gonna send in the National Guard to make sure something happens. When you're seeing that the relevance of it to the people, yeah, you're going to be mad that these people got to come. But when I say I'm going to stop something from happening and I make a move, you gotta respect that. So I feel like the Democratic Party does not do that in certain circumstances. They're too busy looking at different feelings on the situation rather than saying we're going to stop what's happening first, and then we can deal with the feelings after that. And I feel like she's one of those people. And I ain't going to lie, I didn't think that I thought that both of the candidates, Trump and Kamala, would handle stuff abroad different. It's how they would handle home. I think that both of them would have handled different countries just in the same manner. They would have been stern. They would have handled things in a different manner.
I think. Okay. Let me. No one in the world likes y'all anymore. Robbie says, I just don't think she can win in Texas. If she goes against Ken Paxton, I think she might beat Ken Paxton. It depends on who wins the RNC. It depends, not the, you know what I mean. It depends on who wins on the Republican convention, man. It depends on who wins over there. It's Ken Paxton, Cornyn, and what's the other guy's name? Hunt, I think. Over there. And then for the Democrats, it's Crockett and Talrico. I think Talrico would fare better against. I feel like Talrico would probably fare better just because he's not as polarizing. But Crockett's gonna win. She's probably gonna blow him away.
And I think she's going to win, period, just because there's a thing that's behind her. even though she's on a lot of different political situations.
If she goes against Ken Paxton, I think I'm y'all see I got the ticker right there, Poly Market. Y'all know what I'm saying. I'm gonna have a link in the description. Please use my link to click, look around, or sign up. But yeah, I will have a damn if she's going against Ken Paxton, I'm a ride with her. If she's going against Ken Paxton,
I just feel like she has some conservative bones. And Texas, that's what they're going to look for, because they are looking for a change. I don't know the candidates as well. I see her because she's polarizing. She says what she says. Now, everything in all of her actions is Texas. Everything's bigger in Texas, and she's bigger. Big hair, big mouth, big wants, big needs,
Carlos.
big
Let me respond to Carlos. Top Cat, you said big hair and what? My bad.
I said big hair, big mouth, big expectations, big wants. That's what Texas, in a certain point, needs right now, because there is a point where there's going to be an escalation in how they're going to live and where they're headed. And I feel like if after she gets into the seat,
okay,
she's a lot more conservative than people think.
This is what I'm going to say. Let me answer this to Carlos. Carlos said polarizing is the new foundation of politics. That's national politics, Carlos. National politics. See, Texas is a different place. Texas is its own place. Polarizing isn't Texas. You got Valentina Gomez doing what she's doing, but that's for Bell County. She's doing that in Bell County. Then you got Jasmine Crockett doing what she's doing. She made it to national. Polarizing is good nationally because you hit the algorithms, you get free promo, and you do all that. Locally, especially in Texas, that's not it.
Texas, the people themselves are pretty humble in the aspect of things, but they still put out a big face, and that's what I'm saying. Right now, she's a big face. If Texas is going to put a shield in front of them, that's a pretty damn good shield. If there's somebody that's going to talk back to the nation and say Texas is going to do what the hell that Texas want to do, then she looks like the best candidate to me for the person that you want to put in the front to fight your situation. Like, Texas is moving in our own direction. All the different stuff that's been going on, I feel like they would have much rather had her speaking than these other cats that are speaking, because they look fake. They look whack. They look like they underhanded. Well, she looks just like somebody's going to say what the hell she feels, and she don't care how you guys are going to take it, because I'm always been sitting in the position where I'm going to be polarized or looked at. So just because I'm saying this does not change the point that you're looking at me weird for being in this position, period. So I might as well say what the people want to be said rather than sit back and try to be humble and be in these positions when you're going to look at me the same way anyway. And if everybody's wondering what I'm saying a black woman in that position opening her mouth. Because in the South, that's not the usual thing that goes on outside of the community. And the color purple situation, pretty much.
All right.
You know what I'm saying?
Carlos says, Carlos, you finna have to call in because you're doing a lot of typing, dude. You talking about Miami, Virginia, Miami and Virginia, what does that mean? Those were nobody in the Miami, Virginia. None of those people were polarizing. Who the fuck was polarizing? Jay Jones said he wanted to do whatever to his opponents and some kids a few years ago, and they dug it up. He just didn't say shit. He shut the fuck up. Spanberger didn't say shit either. She shut the fuck up. Winsome Earl Sears tried to, talk some shit, but she didn't get the Trump endorsement. Mamdani said what he said, but was Mamdani really polarizing? No, he was just every fucking where, because New York City has 12 million people, and when you hit the algorithm in the city, you hit the algorithm nationally. Let's just be honest. Who was polarizing? Now, was the races being watched close? Was it a lot going on? Was it exciting? Yes, but who was polarizing? And as polarizing as a Jasmine Crockett, a AOC, or somebody like that? Who was polarizing?
Yeah, we've seen all that before. Everything they did, we've seen before. This is something new. And then in that aspect, like, I'm gonna tell you this, Plug, I can see a Newsom Crockett trying to, vice president type situation if they don't stop them from moving how they're moving. They are following Trump's plan and Trump's situation, and they have the markets that can sway things. When you talk talking about Texas and you're talking about California, those two markets can sway the whole United States. Their markets are so huge. So I can see, like, when I'm looking at the two front runners right now for the Democrats, I can see in a couple of years, if things go right, say she wins out and say Newsom keeps moving in the way they're moving, I can see that could be a problem later
Man,
on.
Mamdani was polarizing because he was damn Muslim. Mamdani would, man, listen to the man talking shit, man. We heard Mamdani get stern after he won. He started talking like he, you know what I'm saying, was holding his nuts and shit. Man, Mamdani, we talking about somebody that got some fire, man. Jasmine Crockett got that fire, man. She's talking that shit. Who else is talking shit like that, man?
Yeah, she's talking that shit. She's talking that shit, and she meaning that shit.
That's what I mean by that. Like, in Texas, that loud shit, man, they not voting for that loud shit like that in Texas, bro. Nationally, yeah, that loud shit work. In Texas, man, I'm saying for is the Senate right now. Jasmine Crockett, she'll beat Ken Paxton. Only reason I say Ken Paxton just went through a divorce too. So Ken Paxton got the shit he got going on. He got the financial shit allegedly they investigating him for, and he just had a divorce. That's why I'm saying she can beat Ken Paxton. I'm not saying she can beat Ken Paxton just because she's polarizing and shit. He got a lot of shit going on right now.
Another girl in Texas. There was another girl out there that be whooping some serious shit, and then she's kind of.
That's Valentina Goldman. She running for Bell. She over Bell. She trying to. That's what is it? Bell County. Some other county, it's like North Austin. It's like the North Austin region. Like, that's what she's running. That's her district.
And that's what I'm saying. Like, I see Texas becoming more because they don't want a man that acts like that, but they can deal with it out of a woman a little bit better. So that's why I'm saying I do see a sway there. You know, the tea ladies, I think when you're in Texas, oh, that's my tea lady. Don't nobody talk back to my tea lady. They woo, woo, woo. So there is a different aspect because of the southern point of Texas to that. When they're dealing with women, they have a little bit more give than if a man was up there screaming and yelling and different stuff. They have a little bit more give in that aspect for the tea lady. And that's why I'm sitting up here looking at it like, I really don't know. I mean, I understand the humbleness in the total, but I really don't know. It seems like when mama say what she say, everybody start listening, else you ain't getting no plate when it comes time for dinner. And I see that kind of effect kind of happening out there. So I'm kind of 50-50 on this, but I'm leaning towards her a little bit more. I think she's going to win out.
I don't know, man. She's raised a lot of money. Ken Paxton raised a lot of money too. They raising a lot of money now. Talrico's raised a lot of money. Talrico's raised I think he had 125,000 different donors.
Damn, is that cheddar, huh? Well, I feel like this, Plug. If she can find a way to move the conservative and affiliate herself with the conservative values of Texas, I think she can do anything. If she can get the conservatives to understand that they're not going to be neglected, and she keeps saying that I'm going to speak to everybody. I'm hearing her plan on. She's working her way over to them. She's trying her best. Like she started over here, she's trying to say, "Hey, I was never gone. This is the way that I had to approach this arena." And if she can find a way to melt them two things together, I think she's going to be very powerful down there.
All right. Well, all right, Top Cat. We finna move on in the show, man. I appreciate you for calling in.
All right, thanks for hitting me up, man, for my phone down. I'm gonna ride it out until this mug rides itself out.
All right, now.
One.
All right, Chad. Appreciate Top Cat for, giving us his thoughts and opinions, man.
Talk to you a little bit about Israel. It's an issue that's obviously coming up and an important one for Democrats in their primaries. You've been recently asked a lot about Israel. There's been some criticism about your voting rights. There was a clip that went viral recently of you saying you should look at your record. I had a chance to look at some of your record on some of the Israel issues. In April of 2024, you voted yes on the Israel Security Supplemental Bill, which sent billions of dollars in military assistance to Israel. It did not condition aid on a ceasefire or humanitarian aid to Palestinians in Gaza. There was also multiple letters that were circulated by members of Congress that specifically called on conditioning aid to humanitarian aid going into Gaza. You did not sign those letters. I just want to give you a chance to clarify your record for voters in Texas who have been pressing this issue now, and give you a chance to respond. What do you say to those who are anxious or nervous or concerned about your support for human rights when it comes to Israeli violations against Palestinians?
Yeah, so I've got countless letters that I've signed on to as it relates to the people of Gaza and what's taking place. In fact, we just signed on to another one just this week. We have signed on to letters that have gone directly to Netanyahu about things that are taking place. We signed on to a letter just this week.
What's up, useless?
Directly to the president about this ceasefire and concerns about the fact that it's not actually a ceasefire right now and there are violations. And so I will continue to do that. In addition to that, there was a viral clip that was literally clipped, that was cut short, that specifically was asking me about the April package that I voted yes on. And on that April package, it also sent aid to Taiwan. It also sent aid to Haiti. It also had aid for Gaza. And so, you know, when you're in the minority, which is what we are, we don't write the bills. But what we were able to do when we ended up voting no on two other measures, one was to send aid to Israel and nothing else. Another was to send aid to Israel and to defund the IRS. I voted no on that. We then took those no votes. We then applied pressure to make sure that we could get aid for others in a package because the Republicans were not interested whatsoever. And yes, there were defensive arms that we voted for as well. But when you're in a divided government, as we've been in, you vote for what's on the floor and you get sometimes not necessarily a perfect bill, but truly, I absolutely believe that we had to make sure that we got aid in for those others. So when that video clip ended, it said I voted for all the supplementals. That is exactly what I was talking about. That April supplemental that I was asked about, it was supplementing those other countries as well.
All right, Congresswoman Jasmine Crockett, we appreciate your time. We look forward to having many more conversations.
My bad, Carlo.
Of course, your campaign. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Alright, man. Let's get into some of these pictures from this Epstein release, man. Let's see what's going on with this. See what's going on with some of these Epstein photos, chat. Oh, wow. Alright, this is the 1 foot picture. We all seen that one, man. Oh, this that picture I was talking about. Ghislaine was in the pool, man. I told y'all she was in that pool, man. That looked like Bill and somebody else with their face blocked out, man. That's Ghislaine in that black and white striped swimsuit, man, and that pixie cut, swimming with Bill, you know what I'm saying, doing a few French strokes over there, man. It's crazy. Man. Mick Jagger. What the hell is Mick Jagger doing over there, man? Bill Clinton, Mick Jagger, and Ghislaine Maxwell, man. I know whoever they didn't name that's in the photo because they named 3 people, right? I see 6 people in that photo. Whoever the hell they didn't name in that photo is probably probably happy, man. They probably like, damn, I'm glad they didn't put my name in that shit. The fuck is he doing laying in the tub? Oh, and what? It's no telling what's behind that curtain, chat. I'm just gonna be all the way honest right now, chat. It's no telling what's behind that curtain, bro. Do y'all think it's something behind that curtain, man? Like, that's not Jeffrey Epstein, man? Do y'all think it's something behind that curtain that's not Jeffrey Epstein, man? This shit is crazy, bro. Oh, this Steve Bannon. Steve Bannon was over there trying to get that chicken. Steve Bannon was trying to get that chicken, man. Trying to get that money for Trump forever. He's trying to get that money on. Oh my God, he had a massage for dummies book in there. A book to, and look at the use. That bad boy's been used, Chad. Damn, they was thumbing through that motherfucker. Dang, Chad, that bad boy was used. That is crazy. Man, he got his passport right there, man. Got Bill Gates and some random woman. There they go on that PJ, man. They was in Washington. That's why Chris Tucker probably quit doing them damn movies and shit, man. Quit doing How High, man. See, I always wonder why. Hold on. Nah, that's the Rush Hour nigga. Never mind, that's the wrong Chris, man. I'm tripping. Hold on, hold on, man. Let me see, man. This shit, I got them niggas confused, man. Yeah, alright, so I always wonder why Chris Tucker quit doing Friday and shit. It looks like shit, he got around. Yep, he got around. I thought they said it was because he turned to God and, you know what I'm saying, and all of that. He didn't want to do the Friday no more. And, I was like, damn, he didn't want to do the Fridays no more. He went to start doing other shit, you know, Rush Hour, other shit. And, I see now he around Bill Clinton and Epstein and them, man. I wonder, was this before, you know what I'm saying, after Rush Hours and shit? Now he coming back to Friday. He wasn't gonna do Friday no more. Now he coming back to Friday after the, he might well do Friday. They're gonna put you out there with Bill Clinton and oh, it's no telling what that shit does. What does that do, chat? What does that do, chat? We finna look up the effects of this shit right here. What does this shit do? The hell is that? How do I spell that? Hold on. Fina. Urinary pain relief. Used to relieve pain, burning, and discomfort. Oh, man. Come on, Arkansas, bro. This is crazy, Arkansas. I'm not gonna lie. This is crazy, Arkansas. Damn, and I got an Arkansas shirt on right now. Damn, man. Y'all know how they do the damn. Oh my God, bro. Like, that's a portrait, bro. Like, he was probably sitting in that position for a long time, dude, while they painted that. He was probably sitting like that for a long time while they painted that, bro. Not gonna lie, bro. Now we got Michael Jackson, Diana Ross, and Bill Clinton. They said that them was their kids, though. They said that them was their kids, I think. Them was their kids. Damn, shit, I'm starting to get a little hungry, I ain't gonna lie. Now listen. They was doing it. Whoever this is, David Copperfield. Everything I touch it disappear. David Copperfield. Looked like David Copperfield was disappearing inside of Ghislaine. That's what it looked like. Look at it. It looked like David Copperfield was about ready to, you know what I mean? Look, he got the arm up under her arm and around her neck, man. Max, man, listen, man. David Copperfield is about ready to go on. Oh my God, he has her head. He has her by the back of the head. Ghislaine poses with Jean Luc Brunel. And she got the U.S. flag on her arm. He probably got sucked off too. Ghislaine Maxwell, Andrew Mountain Baden Windsor. He laying on some laps. It's crazy. Who the fuck is this cooking with Epstein? So this right here is like, when we think about these people, we don't ever think about them cooking or eating or shit. But it's like, you ask this guy, Sultan Ahmed bin Salam, an Emirati businessman. Oh, you know, I just went to Epstein's house a few times. We cooked, you know, we made, who knows, whatever the fuck. It looks like he's probably making a traditional dish. That's why Epstein's sitting back there like, yeah, I'm gonna let you handle that, buddy. Looks like he's making a traditional dish. Man, who the fuck is this, bro? Oh my God. American film director Brett Ratner poses with Jean Luc Brunel. We know what that means, bro. Like, come on, bro. It couldn't be more obvious, bro. That is crazy. Jeffrey and Michael Jackson. Now, for all y'all that said Michael Jackson didn't do it, do y'all feel the same way? I never said he did or didn't, but I'm just saying, for everybody that said Michael didn't do it, do y'all feel the same way? Huh? Do y'all feel the same way about Mike, man? Is he still innocent? Come on, give me some answer. Like the video. Is Michael Jackson still innocent? I know y'all don't like it, man. I know y'all don't like it when when we speak about the deceased. But I want to know. Was he in there tap dancing? This is a co-founder of Google. Okay, it's just a headshot of him. Oh, these were pictures at Epstein house. Noah Chomsky. I just want to know where the fuck did all these pictures come from? Like, who was taking all these pictures? Who the fuck was taking all these pictures, chat? Who was doing it? What the hell is that? Is that a fetus? Oh, chat, my dumb ass looking at that like it's a part of the damn, my dumb ass is looking at this picture like it's a part of the damn Epstein release. Boy, I am tripping, chat. Wow. Wasn't nobody gonna say nothing? Oh, those are the pictures, man. Nobody was gonna say anything. Y'all was just gonna let me look at this shit like it was part of. I'm trying to decipher what the fuck it is and everything, bro. That is crazy. That is crazy. Y'all looking just like I'm looking here. We all linked in. What the hell is that? I'm talking about, this is a fetus? Oh shit, man. Epstein fucked up, bro. Epstein fucked up to the point that I'm looking at a damn galaxy and thinking it's a fetus, bro. Epstein fucked up, bro. Dang, it did look like a fetus, man. I'm telling y'all, man. Wow. That's crazy, man. Alright, here goes some more pictures. Nice view, ocean view. Man, ain't no way, bro. Hell no, bro. Who the fuck let Epstein cosplay as a damn? Hell no, bro. Hell no, bro. Listen, this how we feel when some of y'all put on, you know what I'm saying, Jordans and shit, man. This how we feel when some of y'all wear do-rags and shit, man. This shit is crazy. Man, Epstein funny as hell, bro. Look at him. He know that shit ain't right. Look at how he looking beside him, man. He know that shit ain't right. Hell nah, man. He know that shit ain't right, bro. Hell nah, bro. That is funny as hell because it's Epstein. Jeffrey Epstein wearing a keffiyeh. For what? And why is it fucking cheetah print chairs in the background, bro? Like, where the fuck is Epstein at to be wearing a keffiyeh with some leopard cheetah print, whatever the hell it is, chairs in the back, bro? Like, where are you at, bro? And why are you? This is crazy. Jeffrey Epstein with a woman whose identity has been obscured. Ghislaine Maxwell poses outside the British Prime Minister's residence in London. Who is the British Prime Minister? It ain't no telling what's inside of that mass, chat. I'm not gonna lie, chat. It's no telling what kind of shit they've concocted and put together, man. Man, listen, chat. I wouldn't be surprised if it's a little green dookie in that face mask right there, man. There might be a green turd in that bad boy, man. Like, it wouldn't surprise if I would have read that caption and it would have said Jeffrey Epstein with the feces face mask, I would have believed it, man. I'm just gonna be honest, bro. It's crazy. Oh, they got a real tiger, and then y'all just seen the chairs and shit in there. Man, ain't no way. We just seen the chairs and shit in there, man. Now they got a big ass tiger in this. What? Guacamole. It probably was guacamole, but they got a big ass tiger in here, bro. It's just certain shit people shouldn't do. You know what I'm saying? And I think having a tiger in the living room is one of those things. It's just certain shit you shouldn't do. Like, it's certain shit that you do, and if you pass away after it, it's like it's to be expected. Having a tiger in your house is one of them. Like, if everybody in that house just passed away and I come to find out it was a tiger living in there, like, come on. Oh, that's a stuffed tiger. I'm dumb as hell. That's a stuffed tiger. I'm fucking tripping, bro. I'm 0 for 2. I'm 0 for 2, chat. That's a stuffed tiger, man. I'm 0 for 2. Damn. Oh, I thought there was some legs. That's like a statue that looked like a leg. Sarah Ferguson, Britain's Duchess of York. President Bill Clinton with Jeffrey Epstein. That's why Diddy started wanting to get matching outfits right here. Diddy saw this type shit going on and he was like, yeah, I'm finna make you niggas start matching. Richard Branson. And why is he barefoot? She was Lola in slacks, riding on a female body. It's kind of weird. Ghislaine Maxwell and Jeffrey Epstein. Bill Gates. Jeffrey Epstein with women whose identities have been obscured. The hell kind of suit she got on? Ghislaine had that tan on her. Look at her feet. She had a tan on her feet. Crazy. Oh, they lived on the island. They did live on the island. Jeffrey Epstein. It looked like he's ready to go sell a few ounces of blow, doesn't it, Chad? It looked like if they dropped this picture and it said Epstein on the way to sell a couple ounces of blow, that would have been a fitting caption. Epstein going to meet the plug. You know what I'm saying? Like that would be a fitting caption. Where are they at? Man, there's no way, bro. This shit look like AI, bro. Why does it look like Jeffrey Epstein got on a gas station t-shirt, bro? Man, look how thick that collar is, man. I know a gas station white tee when I see one. I done bought plenty of them, man. I done bought plenty gas station white tees, bro. Where the hell? Why is Jeffrey Epstein in a gas station white tee, man? What country is he in to have to grab a gas station white tee, bro? Like, look how thick that collar is, bro. Look at the sleeves, man. Look at how the sleeves is hitting thick, like the thick bottom sleeve, bro. That is a gas station white tee, bro. Bill Clinton in a bunch of these pictures, man. And who the fuck is that looking off? Oh, that's a statue. A view of the interior of Epstein's home. Oh, is that somebody hanging? Oh, they're sliding down a rope. Bill Clinton with a woman in his image from the estate of late financier and convicted sex offender Jeffrey Epstein. Damn, bro, they listen, man. The Justice Department has been tweeting all day talking about we re-released the shit, we unredacted some things and all that, man. Now look at how they caption this. The other captions were just Epstein and just laying. This is former U.S. Bill Clinton and a woman seen in this image from the estate of late financier sex offender Jeffrey Epstein. Routers. This image has been supplied by a third party and redacted from source. Oh yeah, listen, I know Hillary mad right now, man. She's seeing all this damn cheating Bill been doing, man. She mad right now. Epstein playing his piano while Bill lays back. Yeah, man. Bill looked like he had a good time. He had a real good time. It's crazy. This shit is crazy, Chad. I'm not gonna lie. This shit is damn crazy. Alright, Chad, there go to the Galaxy. Y'all was asking about the Galaxy. I was like this earlier looking at it. That's the Galaxy again. Alright, Chad. Y'all want me to open up the phone line? Somebody want to call in? Somebody want to call in, chat? Double tap the screen, share the live out, chat. We are 25 subscribers away from the next goal. Alright, hold on. Damn, chat. Oh shit, my bad, chat. Hold on. Alright, y'all got any updates, man? Y'all got anything y'all want to talk about before you smash for me? Appreciate you. You would be shocked. 3 million. Dude's creepy as hell. Read the court disclosures. We're gonna do that tomorrow. I ain't gonna lie. I'm a little tired tonight to read the court disclosures. We are gonna read those tomorrow. It was like 119 pages if they unredacted. But yeah, I am a little tired. No cap. Alright, let me. Damn, chat. You said you don't see no baby in the photo. Am I MAGA? No, I'm not MAGA. I'm not MAGA. Alright, Dim, half tears, Dim's tears. I don't know, that's why I got Biden sleep on the thumbnail too. This is what I don't want. I don't want to hear anybody else run on the Epstein files. And I just went off and said it yesterday. And what do? I get right there on fucking Twitter and I see Valentina Gomez campaign. She's running for Congress. She says, I'll tell you this, if you vote me in for Congress, I'll release those Epstein files. Nobody will stop me. So people's already running on the Epstein files again. Another one. Another one. Straight up, man. It's crazy. You said, am I a Democrat, Holy Spirit? No, I'm not a Democrat, Holy Spirit. I'm not a Democrat. I'm not a Republican. I'm not a Democrat, man. They call me a centrist. I call out the far left, the far right, the left, the right. Say I don't care if you far left, far right, liberal, conservative, Marxist, fascist, an alien, NPC. It's the slogan. Dude, I'm hungry, bro. I got a slice of cheesecake, Chad. Hold on, I'm finna go get this cheesecake right quick, man. Hold on, man. Bear with me while I go get this cheesecake. Gotta get that bad boy off the plate, chat. I had to get that bad boy off the plate, man. Because of the no list statements. No, I didn't see her trying to get it overturned, but we'll watch that right quick. Hold on. That Meet the Press, what's that dude named? Blanche went over there and talked about it. Here you go. Blanche went on Meet the Press today and talked about Trump and the Epstein files. I haven't watched it yet. I just have seen the thumbnail for it. Thomas Massey went somewhere and talked today too.
And joining me now is Deputy Attorney General Todd Blanche. Mr. Blanche, welcome to Meet the Press.
Good morning.
Thank you so much for being here. Let's dive right in. The Epstein Files Transparency Act called for all files with limited exceptions to be released within 30 days. On Friday, the Justice Department released just a fraction of the overall Epstein files. Why didn't the Justice Department meet that Friday deadline?
Good morning. So it's very simple and very clear. The statute also requires us to protect victims. And so the reason why we are still reviewing documents and still continuing our process is simply that, to protect victims. So the same individuals that are out there complaining about the lack of documents that were produced on Friday are the same individuals who apparently don't want us to protect victims. So we're going through a very methodical process with hundreds of lawyers looking at every single document and making sure that victims' names and any of the information from victims is protected and redacted, which is exactly what the Transparency Act expects. That's exactly what Attorney General Bondi expects. It's exactly what President Trump expects. So that's what we're doing.
Well, you're talking about protecting the victims. The law directed the Justice Department to, quote, release internal DOJ communications, including emails, memos, meeting notes concerning decisions to charge, not charge, investigate, or decline to investigate Epstein or his associates. That's the crux of what many of the victims or the survivors say they want to see. Why wasn't that information prioritized in the first release, Mr. Blanche?
Well, first of all, it was. And there are numerous documents released on Friday that address what you just quoted from the statute, that address internal communications within the Department of Justice and internal communications between law enforcement and the Department of Justice. But it's for the same reason, because many of those internal communications talk about victims. Many of those internal back and forth between prosecutors and law enforcement talk about victims and their stories. And that has to be redacted. And by the way, everybody expects us to redact that. So the same complaints that we're hearing yesterday and even this morning from Democrats and from others screaming loudly from a hill about lack of production on Friday, imagine if we had released tons of information around victims. That would be the true crime. That would be the true wrong. And if anybody out there, I heard Congressman Raskin, the Democrats on the House Oversight Committee releasing statements accusing Attorney General Bondi, Director Patel, and myself of not doing our jobs. If they had an issue with me protecting victims, they know how to get a hold of me. But we're not going to stop doing it.
Well, let's talk about the redactions, which you raised. The Epstein Files Transparency Act prohibits redactions, quote, on the basis of embarrassment, reputational harm, or political sensitivity. Has anything been redacted on that basis?
Absolutely, positively not. And that's another trend that is just simply false. There were a number of photographs
Call in, Crusade.
after being released on Friday. That's because a judge in New York has ordered us to listen to any victim or victim rights group if they have any concerns about the material that we're putting up. And so when we hear concerns, whether it's photographs of women that we do not believe are victims or we didn't have information to show that they were victims, but we learned that there are concerns, of course we're taking that photograph down and we're going to address it. If we need to redact faces or other information, we will, and then we'll put it back up. So we are in every way, shape, and form complying with this statute, which, by the way, is what President Trump has been asking us to do since before he was elected. There's nothing that he has to hide in the Epstein files. There never was. And even though there's repeated attempts by Democrats to paint him as being part of the Epstein saga, it's failing over and over again. And so you should not be surprised that the material that we release on Friday or the material that we're going to release over the next couple of weeks is exactly what the statute requires us to release, which is everything that we have from this case, with the exception of redacting personal information from victims and other statutes, privileges and things like that. Otherwise, everything's getting produced.
Mr. Lynch, I want to follow up with you on what you just said. You were referencing the 15 files released Friday. They disappeared from DOJ's website yesterday, including this photo of what looks like a desk with a drawer open containing photos of Donald Trump. Just to be very clear, to put a fine point on it, why were these files taken down? You're saying it was at the direction of a judge?
You can see in that photo, there's photographs of women. And so we learned after releasing that photograph that there were concerns about those women and the fact that we had put that photo up. So we pulled that photo down. It has nothing to do with President Trump. There are dozens of photos of President Trump already released to the public seeing him with Mr. Epstein. He has said that in the 90s and early 2000s, he socialized with him. So the absurdity of us pulling down a photo, a single photo, because President Trump was in it, is laughable. And the fact that everybody's trying to act like that's the case is a reflection of their true motivation. But the reality is anybody, any victim's lawyers, any victim rights group can reach out to us and say, hey, Department of Justice, there's a document, there's a photo, there's something within the Epstein files that identifies me, and we will then, of course, pull that off and investigate it.
Are you saying that one or more of the women in one of the photos or several of the photos is a victim or a survivor of Jeffrey Epstein, and that's why you took those files down, and will they be put back up?
That's not what I'm saying. We, of course, if we knew that, if we believed that
Core World, what it do?
A survivor, we wouldn't have put it up in the first place without redacting the faces.
What it do, Gino?
Notwithstanding what we believe, we don't have perfect information. And so when we hear from victims' rights groups about this type of photograph, we pull it down and investigate. We're still investigating that photo. The photo will go back up, and the only question is whether there will be redactions on the photo. And of course, if there are survivors in any of the photos, we will redact them as Congress expects us to do, as President Trump expects us to do, and as the Attorney General and Director Patel have directed the department to do.
Okay, let's delve more deeply into the redactions. Is any information about President Trump redacted in any of the files that have or will be released?
No. Not unless it's supposed to be redacted under the law, which means victim information or any sort of privilege, like attorney-client privilege. But I have no reason to believe that the lawyers that were working on this case were talking about President Trump, because he had nothing to do with the Epstein files. He had nothing to do with the horrific crimes that Mr. Epstein committed. And so I don't expect there will be anything redacted, but the short answer is we are not redacting information around President Trump, around any other individual involved with Mr. Epstein. And that narrative, which is not based on fact at all, is completely false.
The White House has said that President Trump is included in the files. Can you guarantee that every mention and every photo of President Trump in the Epstein files will be released?
Yes, I mean, I've said it 3-4 times now. We've said it before, and President Trump has said it repeatedly since before he was elected, and since he was elected, all summer long he said the same thing: I have nothing to hide. And so, of course that's the case. But let me just make sure everybody understands something. That he is, quote, in the Epstein files, it's not because he had anything to do with the horrific crimes. Full stop. But yes, if President Trump is mentioned, if there's photographs that we have of President Trump or anybody else, they of course will be released, with the exception of any victims or survivors that we've identified, which we will either not release that photograph if it's just a photograph of a survivor, or if we do release the photograph because there's other individuals in the picture, the survivor's face or her entire body in some cases will be redacted.
And we're talking about President Trump in relation to this. For months, he urged Republicans to stop pushing for the files to be released. He dismissed the Epstein files as a hoax. I want to play a little bit of what he has said about the Epstein files before he signed the law. Take a look.
It's all a big hoax. It's perpetrated by the Democrats and some stupid Republicans. I don't understand it. Why they would be so interested. He's dead for a long time. It's sordid, but it's boring. This is a Democrat hoax that never ends.
Are the Epstein files a hoax, Mr. Blanche?
What President Trump is saying is not that the Epstein files are a hoax. It's his game that Democrats have been playing for the past 9 months around the Epstein files. That is a complete and total hoax.
Well, and some Republicans pushing for the release too. Some of the Republicans are pushing for the release too. Clear.
Well, that's different. That's different. To be clear, releasing the files is not what President Trump has ever had an issue with. When he calls this a hoax, he's talking about the fact that there's this narrative out there that the Department of Justice is somehow hiding or protecting information about him, which is completely false, as evidenced by the fact that the Epstein files existed for years and years and years, and you did not hear a peep out of a single Democrat for the past 4 years. And yet we're supposed to believe that, lo and behold, all of a sudden, out of the blue, Senator Schumer suddenly cares about the Epstein files. That's the hoax. And that's the hoax that has existed for months and months and months. This isn't about whether we would release or not release the Epstein files. As a general matter, we do not release the files of criminal investigations and prosecutions. There's laws around that. There's laws that protect victims, that protect the innocent. We're doing something here that is more transparent than we've done in any criminal investigation in the history of this country. Don't forget
history of the world.
In November, President Trump directed Attorney General to investigate, speaking of investigations, high-profile Democrats with ties to Jeffrey Epstein. Is the Justice Department investigating only Democrats or everyone with a connection to Jeffrey Epstein?
Jay Clayton, the U.S. Attorney in the Southern District of New York, which is the office that had the most recent Epstein case, is investigating pursuant to the communication from President Trump. And by the way, this department will always investigate anybody and anything that we learn about sex trafficking or any victim of horrible sex crimes that takes place. As proof of that, Attorney General, the Director of the FBI, we have charged and we are prosecuting more child predators just in the first 10 months of this administration than the entire 4 years of the Biden administration. So this idea that we're protecting or doing something wrong when it comes to protecting victims is not true.
Well, in the directive, President Trump singled out former President Bill Clinton. Of course, a number of photos of President Clinton were released Friday. A Clinton spokesperson saying the White House hasn't been hiding these files for months, only to dump them late on a Friday to protect Bill Clinton. This is about shielding themselves from what comes next or from what they'll try and hide forever. Let me ask you bluntly, is President Clinton under investigation?
I will never talk about ongoing criminal investigations, so I'm not going to answer that question.
Here we go.
But let me address the second part of the quote that you just gave us. Think about how patently absurd that position is. The idea that we have hundreds and hundreds of DOJ lawyers, these are not politicals, it's not me, it's not Attorney General Bondi, looking at all of these files and determining whether they are responsive to the act. And we over-collected, by the way. We went out to all of our components and we said, give us any document that you think in any way, shape, or form is connected to the Epstein case. And that's what we're going through. So the idea that we are hiding something, or there's something that we have hidden under a rock around President Trump or other Republicans, is not only false, but it's obviously false for anybody that's intelligent enough to think about what we're doing.
Let me just put a fine point on this. Will the Justice Department bring any new charges against anyone based on the content of
Hell no. No.
We have continued to investigate anybody associated with Jeffrey Epstein.
That's not the question.
We discussed this in our July memo, and we continue. So the answer is, I don't know whether there'll be additional prosecutions. Based on the information that we had in July, based upon the information that I'm aware of now, we are not prepared to bring charges against anybody, but we are learning new information all the time. We learned the names of additional victims as recently as Wednesday of this week, okay? So there's new names that we didn't have before that we ran across our database to understand whether they had ever met with law enforcement or ever talked to the FBI. And so we're always investigating, and so it would be premature and not fair for me to unilaterally say yes or no to what future prosecutions there may be.
Okay, Mr. Blanche, you talk about the reaction from Capitol Hill. Let me allow you to respond to some of it. Congressman Thomas Massey and Ro Khanna, the authors of the Epstein bill, say the partial release of files failed to comply with the law. They say they are considering looking into the possibility of impeachment proceedings, contempt, even criminal referrals for obstruction of justice for DOJ officials. Do you take these threats seriously?
Not even a little bit. Bring it on. We are doing everything we're supposed to be doing to comply with this statute. And Congressman Massey and these other congressmen that are coming out speaking negatively about Director Patel and the Attorney General have no idea what they're talking about. They know the work that we're going through. They know what we're doing to protect victims. I mean, just think about what we're doing. You're talking about 1 million or so pages of documents. Virtually all of them contain victim information. So, listen, the idea that Attorney General Bondi would ever let a single piece of paper go out of this department that contains victim information is something they know we won't do. And the fact that they're threatening to impeach her for protecting victims is a reflection of where their head's at. It's not a reflection of this department. We are complying with the statute. We will continue to comply with the statute. And if by complying with the statute, we don't produce everything on Friday, we produce things next week and the week after, that's still compliance with the statute. There is well-settled law. You should know that in a case like this, where we're required to produce within a certain amount of time, but also comply with other laws like redacting information, that very much trumps, redacting information very much trumps some deadline in the statute.
All right, couple more and we're almost out of time. I do want to ask you about Ghislaine Maxwell, who was, of course, convicted in 2021 for her role in helping Jeffrey Epstein traffic his victims. In July, you interviewed her in Florida, where she was serving a 20-year sentence in federal prison. Just a week later, Maxwell was moved to a more permissive prison camp in Texas. Why was she moved just days after you interviewed her, Mr. Blanche?
So that's a Bureau of Prison Security issue that I will not talk about.
Did you have anything to do with it? Did you have anything to do with it?
Let me finish. First of all, I am responsible for the Bureau of Prisons. So every decision that they make lands on my desk to the extent it needs to. But just let me talk about the security issue. At the time that I met Ms. Maxwell, there was a tremendous amount of scrutiny and publicity towards her, and the institution she was in, she was suffering numerous threats against her life. So the BOP is not only responsible for putting people in jail and making sure they stay in jail, but also for their safety. And so she was moved. She is in federal prison. She was in federal prison before. She's in federal prison now. She's doing 20 years because she was convicted. And the fact that she moved, she might be moved to another institution tomorrow if security requires it. And that's true of any federal inmate across this country.
But as you know, survivors were outraged by all of this, especially the fact that she was moved. Why talk to Ghislaine Maxwell and not the survivors, Mr. Blanche?
What you just said is completely false. We will talk to any survivor at any time, which is something that we have said
talked to them?
From day one.
But have you talked to them?
Of course. The attorney, first of all, they have to want to speak with us. The Attorney General and I spoke with a victims' rights group as recently as Thursday, okay? And if folks want to talk to us next week or the week after or in the coming months, they know how to get a hold of us, and we will always talk to survivors and victims' families. But just backing up to your question about Ms. Maxwell, nobody ever talked to her. Nobody ever asked her questions about what she knew. So when she said that she had something she wanted to say, notwithstanding the fact she had been convicted, of course we went and talked to her. Imagine if we didn't talk to her. Imagine if she had said, I have a story to tell and I would like to talk to the government. And I said, no. Same outrage would be directed at this department for not speaking with her. So we're trying to do our job here, and we are doing our job here. But any victim that wants to talk to the FBI, that wants to talk to the Department of Justice, they can call us anytime.
Let me ask you, President Trump in September urged Attorney General Pam Bondi to prosecute former FBI Director James Comey, New York Attorney General Letitia James, and Senator Adam Schiff, saying in a social media post that was supposed to be private, quote, they're all guilty as hell. Comey was indicted 5 days later. Does President Trump speak to you or to the Attorney General directly about individual criminal cases and investigations, Mr. Blanche?
I will never talk about the communications I have with President Trump, and I don't expect Attorney General Bondi will either. However, when it comes to the prosecutions that this department is undertaking, we are following the facts and the law, period. And so with the case of James Comey, and he was indicted, the case was then dismissed by a judge because of an appointments issue. We were already investigating, which was very much available to the public at the time that President Trump sent that note. And so the fact that we continue to investigate and ultimately he was indicted is not a reflection of what President Trump put in that truth. It's a reflection of the work that we're doing and have been doing long before September.
Just very quickly, career prosecutor Eric Siebert was fired after refusing to prosecute these cases against James Comey. He was replaced by Lindsay Halligan, of course, the president's former personal lawyer who doesn't have prosecutorial experience, who was found to be unconstitutionally appointed. And the cases were thrown out, as you say. To be clear, is the Justice Department taking directions about who to prosecute for President Trump?
No, of course we're not. And also, Mr. Siebert wasn't fired because he refused to bring cases. He resigned, okay? And so, and this narrative out there that somehow it was because of James Comey, it was because of Letitia James. No, that's not true at all. And Ms. Halligan went in there and did a great job. She's still doing a great job as our U.S. attorney in the EDVA. And you had a local judge rule that she was not validly appointed. We filed an appeal in that case. I expect that eventually, when the appellate courts looks at this issue, we'll win that issue.
All right, Deputy Attorney General Todd Blanche, thank you so much for being here today. We really appreciate it.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
We thank you for watching, and remember, stay updated on breaking news and top stories on the NBC News app.
Oh shit, somebody did call. Whoever called unknown, man, call back. I got do not disturb off, man. If that was you, Crusade, that called, man, you can call back. I didn't know I had it. What's up with it, Tato? Y'all double tap the screen, share the live out, man. We're gonna take 1 or 2 call-ins, man, and we finna get up out of here. I damn near went to sleep on y'all. It's all finger pointing. Oh, I gotta drop the phone number. Alright, good night, Steady. Yeah, we finna get up out of here, chat, man. We'll see y'all tomorrow, chat. Hope everybody has a good night, man, and I'll see y'all on the next one.